Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
We're getting lots of people, Canadians, terrified, messaging us about how scared they are to come home. This is unacceptable.
Sorry,
Could you tell me why Canadians are being abducted at the airport by folks from your department?
No comment.
No comment. Have you read the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? It's online. You can read it. I recommend reading the section on mobility rights.
Is the time for allowing government officials or anyone who's just, quote, following orders, is it time to start demanding answers from them, even if they aren't in, let's say, a political or an organizational capacity to give official answers? Or are we still giving them the benefit of the doubt of just following those orders?
You know what? I think that ship has sailed. I mean, it does apply at some point, but you got to go home and put your head on that pillow and your thoughts got to catch up to you. And not only that, the lack of transparency we've had from the government about this is completely unacceptable. I mean, why are we getting surprised with mandated hotels? Why do people not know where they're going? I mean, this is insane in Canada, you know? So we need to ask questions. Keane's so good at asking questions to people who don't want to answer them. But, you know, thank God that he's out there doing that, because we need those answers. And I don't know what your inbox is like, but we're getting lots of people, Canadians, terrified, messaging us about how scared they are to come home. This is unacceptable. And it always reminds me of, you know, early on when I came across that old documentary from Dr. Tam. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. I think it was called Pandemic. And she is so cutthroat with, you know, her measure on this. So I'm not surprised. In that video, she basically said, you know, whether they're healthy or not, lock them up, throw the key away, and then decide later if you've overreacted. And I think that's what we're experiencing. Now,
Drea, for those who are, for lack of a better term, probably far left voters, I'd wager about 10% of the voting population, NDP and Green Party supporters, that are saying in response to some of this stuff, it's about time, Justin Trudeau, that you did this. It's about time Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, locked everything down. They should have locked down harder. And even if you think they should have done it at the beginning and your opinion has changed, there's still people that are saying we need to do harder lockdowns now. They're glad that people who disobey the stay-at-home order or choose to travel for whatever their reason is, they're glad that they're being locked up, and they're glad that they're being forced to pay these fines. Drea, do you come across any of these people? And even if you don't, what do you say to these people who still seemingly just want the government to be able to do anything that they want to be able to do to its population?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to come across those people unless you're hiding from being online or watching the news or anything like that. Actually, I just saw a poll. I wish I could remember what poll it was, but it was asking how typical voters feel about law enforcement being able to enter your home without a warrant. Mm-hmm. And it was something around 20% of, I think, NDP were against it, and lower for the Liberals. And the Conservatives, it was still like only 47% were against it. And I'm like, that's almost 50% that are against police officers entering your home without a warrant. I mean, what does that mean? You were around somebody, your kid went to school, and someone in the same grade as them had COVID, so now they have to go somewhere? Like, I don't know. Where does it end?
Yeah, staff writer Dave pointed this poll out to me yesterday, where the majority of people agree that they should be upholding the Constitution and our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But at the same time, those same people say it's okay to go into places without warrant to enforce COVID. What's the word I'm looking for? People who disobey the COVID orders, COVID dissenters, I guess is what I was trying to say. So on one hand, you want our rights, but on the other hand, you're willing to give them up in certain situations. I'm not willing to give them up for something that is 99.5% survival rate. That's just insane to me. And the fact that we're going to the point of double masks now. I look at Twitter this morning, and this is what every person in the mainstream media has decided to write about today. Of course, you double up 2 Brita filters on top of each other, you're still filtering the same stuff. Okay, maybe you're moving masks slightly. And this is just me trying to make sense of it for people who support this sort of things. Maybe you're lining up the mask so that it covers the holes. None of it makes any sense because tiny particles are going to get through anyways. These masks were never actually meant to stop the disease from going through. And again, it still boggles my mind that we're talking about this for something that's not very deadly at all.
Oh, hi friends. What you just saw there is a clip from our Rebel News daily live stream show. It's fun, it's fast, and it's completely unscripted, so you never really know what you're going to get. Just go to rebelnews.com/livestream to sign up for special alerts.